Greetings, alternate time and space. It's your host, Tomoya Shadow, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to some more Final Fantasy XIV Online. We've got no time left to lose. We've got some side quests to take care of. So without further ado, let's get started right away with today's adventure and see what's in store for us. Along Z! Now let's see here. Let me route out my path here. What would be quickest to go to? There's a side quest right there. I think this way would be the quickest way and go around. He's supposed to be here by now, but who might you be? Oh, you're clearing the site in Phidias' stead? How very kind of you. Come then, let's get you on the Ampelos. Once you're securely mounted, ride it yonder to have it sneeze at the bushes. The noise will scare away whatever creatures may be hiding. Big sneeze! The Ampelos' mighty sneeze sends the creatures in the bush scattering in panic. Sneeze! Fear me, for I have the power of the sneeze. Sneeze! The creatures came running all the way here. Frightened as they looked, I dare say they'll keep away from the site for a good while. For his hard work, I shall treat the Ampelos to a spot of sunbathing. Meanwhile, you should return to Phidias. I am certain he will have a reward for you, too. I only got half of them? I thought I had them all. What brings you here, old friendly familiar? Time for a meal, eh? Ah, yes, quite right. Thank you for reminding me. Still a few more moments here can't hurt, surely. I dare say you've noticed how refreshing it is even stand in this idyllic place. The air itself is permeated with rich ether, and the fine droplets from the leaf ease the aches from a hard day's work. Try a nice big stretch. You won't regret it. I don't think I have that all equipped, so I'll have to go into my emotes and do it from there. See what I mean? The wind through the leaves, the waterfall's soothing spray, there's nothing quite like it. In our busy day-to-day lives, it's all too easy to forget to look after ourselves. Naturally, that includes familiars. Speaking of which, I'd best get something to eat, as you so kindly came here to tell me. As you seem new to these parts, my friend will probably be wondering whether you've lost your way. Go and put his mind at ease, would you? Yes? Ahem. What can I do? Yes, what can I do for you? Yami, is it? An overseer Sokius wished me to act as your guide? Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I would be more than happy to show you around. I'm simply wondering why the overseer chose to send you to me of all people. I've been here long myself, truth be told. Until quite recently, I was wholly engaged in a prolonged research project at the Academia Anander. Surely, there are other more experienced individuals who could provide a more comprehensive... This grumbling is hardly constructive now, is it? The task was given to me, and I will attempt to cover the most salient features of our facilities to the best of my abilities. After all, it is not every day that one is asked to indulge the curiosity of such a rare and fascinating visitor. We can commence the tour this very moment, if you like. Not yet. Since that's a multi-step quest, I'd rather get the other side quests out of the way first. As in? What in the blazes are you doing here? Hold on, you seem thinner somehow. You have much in common with him, but it's clear you're not one of us. A familiar, perhaps? I suppose it's just like him to send one of his minions to poke its nose into our affairs. But since you're here, instead of hanging around like a bad smell, why don't you make yourself useful? I want to take this latest work of mine, a new variety of fruit, to my colleagues. In the meantime, I will be cultivating more specimens of the chthonic horns. Yes, you heard that correctly. Cultivating, not simply conjuring with creation magics. Aye, the fruit I produce is a labor of love. Now that my newest masterpiece is close to completion, I would have my fellow researcher sample its delights. I wish to hear their impressions before I make the final adjustments. Unfortunately, for all their wisdom, I find them intolerable at the best of times. Never mind when they are critiquing my work. For that reason, I would have you go in my stead, and be quick about it, lest the fruit spoil as a result of your dawdling. Well, at least it's not timed. What a pleasant surprise. You must be one of the most successfully energetic familiars I have ever seen. Your dome shows your representative well, it would appear. As a matter of fact, I too have an errand to ask of you, namely the delivery of these concepts. I brought them all the way from the Academy Anander. 3 aquatic fauna specimens from the wards of Metron and 1 floral sample from the wards of Hamarot. All very fascinating, as my counterparts here will soon discover. It would also be prudent to remind Eurodome not to let their captivating nature distract her from making her observations. Well then, there's no time like the present. I trust our guest was as enamored with you as I am. New concepts for us are fascinating to the point of being distracting. What an odd thing to warn me about, though it does all sound rather intriguing. The Academy Anander always produces concepts of the most outstanding quality, and I'm eager to learn what treats we have in store on this occasion. Let me see. From the word of Metron, we have what seems to be an aquatic mollusk capable of storing ether in its shell. I can only guess as to what purpose that would serve, but I dare say all will become abundantly clear in due course. Oh, I do apologize. I already find myself mesmerized by these concepts, just as our visitor predicted. For your part in bringing me these wonders, you have my thanks. You are the familiar who arrived with Emerselk and Hythlodaeus, yes? And what do we have here? Fruit! A new species of fruit, eh? Let us hope it tastes better than it looks. My word! What an unusual flavor! Equal parts bitter, musty, and tart, and not entirely unpleasant. I'm curious to know how such a thing was created. Grown from seed in the Chthonian horns, you say? In my experience, leaving such things to nature leads to wildly varying results. To have bred such a specimen must have been incredibly time-consuming, not to mention inefficient. Welcome back, Yami. Thanks to you, the site has been nicely cleared, and we can release our new creation. It's a species of ambulatory plant, lest you wonder. While these have been popular of late, this one dwarfs the rest. A veritable tree that can use its branches like hands to catch a oh no, not a treant. Not a treant. No. It sets my heart aflutter just thinking about it. My thanks again, and if there are any other exciting tasks, I will be certain to let you know. You wish to speak with me? Fruit! My impressions? Very well. Good gracious, what is this? It's so outrageously bitter, something akin to a wave of icy cold has spread throughout my entire body. I certainly wouldn't eat this out of choice, but it could be made into medicines for staving off the heat in an arid environment. Here to report on the successful completion of the favor I asked of you. How very dutiful of you. Would I be correct in guessing your little jaunt has paid dividends? Ha! No need to tell me. I can see you're practically bursting with vim and vigor. Why, even I feel better just looking at you, and I've done nothing but stand here the entire time. Whoop! Are you lost to the familiar? Fruit! For me? Why yes, I should love to try a piece. I don't mean to be rude, but this falls somewhere between rather foul and positively revolting. It's so bitter, it's practically inedible. More important, however, is the question of whether this fruit will serve its intended function. If wild animals cannot bring themselves to eat it, the seeds will never be spread. I can't imagine this creation being approved in its current state. I'm willing to bet that's exactly what he was intending, for it to be shockingly bitter. You have returned -3 fruit samples, I presume. Is that so? Not one of them found it to their liking. They claim my last attempt was too sweet, and now it's too bitter. Honestly, the nerve of these so-called experts. As they shall soon learn, I am not so easily deterred. For my next creation, I'll cross-pollinate sour and sweet varieties, and see what they have to say about that. I'll show them it's these wildly varying results that come from adherence to natural processes that have the power to defy exceptions. And as the familiar of Zem himself, I'm sure you can appreciate that. Unicorn? You wish to speak with me? Oh yes, I have a feeling she might say that. As I have told her, my decision has been made. But what about that winged creature? It was a success. Glad tidings to be certain, but my work is done. This news was more than sufficient. I thank you for it. Nothing could deter me from my chosen course, and I must join my predecessors in the hereafter. Tell Blast to name the creature as she pleases, and that I wish her every happiness. Now our brief encounter has reached its end. Farewell. Whoops, that's the main objective. Don't need to be here. Don't need to be here right now. She's not with you. Did you at least find her? I should have known nothing would sway her. All I could do is hope she finds blessed respite in the ethereal sea, and that we may one day be reunited in another life. Until then, I will carry on her legacy, beginning with the naming of the creature she cared for so dearly. I think I shall name it after her. That way she will live on through her work forever. Then let us begin. Rather than have me lecture you as we walk along, I think observing firsthand what we do in Anagnorisis will prove more beneficial. I'll point you in the right direction. You could question my colleagues to your heart's content. Once you've completed a circuit, we can return and speak to Overseer Silcles. Let's go! Let's go! Charmian. Oh, and who is your friend? Azim's familiar. I keep saying Azim, it's Azem. Why, you appear so astute and deliberate in your thinking. I should very much like to make an extended study of your composition and consciousness. Oh, to forgive my foreignness, it is my duty to chart the behavior of familiars, and I find it ever so diverting. Arcane servants are rarely permitted to roam the world at will, you see, but our research here is given special dispensation. Once the subjects are properly registered as concepts, of course. There are times when familiars are tasked with tending cattle, or must otherwise coexist with other living beings. Such projects are brought to me, and I'm responsible for observing and evaluating their potential compatibilities. Oh, but of course, if Azem might grant us passage, then you could abide here for a few years while I analyze. And on that note, we really must be moving along. Step lively, Yami. Oh no! I'm a pet project! What do we have here? A familiar of some kind, judging by your ethereal structure. Yes, I am accompanying Yami here on a tour around Anagnorisis, at the behest of the Overseer. A tour, feel free to wander as you please, of course, but I advise keeping your distance from the larger creatures. The fauna I have under observation occupy the top tier of the food chain, and do not take kindly to intruders in their territory, especially the specimens found on the other islands. They can be exceedingly hostile. While I am sure you are quite capable of defending yourself, no one appreciates a surprise tusk to the abdomen, eh? Thank you for the warning. We will proceed with due caution. Oh, Charmian, was there something? The Overseer asked that I give this familiar a tour of the grounds, and I thought the best way to do that was to show him what we do here firsthand. I see. Well, as my work is rather difficult to demonstrate, I hope a brief explanation will suffice. Our creations are many and varied, but I mainly preside over the plant life. When it comes to watching certain grasses grow, one must be prepared to observe over the course of several years, and in the case of trees, sometimes decades. Tedious, perhaps, yet necessary. Plants are capable of altering an entire habitat, and their presence as a food source has an enormous influence on the local wildlife. Was that the sort of thing you wish to know? Yes, that was perfect. Thank you. I think we've covered the main areas of interest, and all that's left now is to speak with Overseer Sockles. I just saw a goat. And the dog! Ooh, itchy scalp. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Ah, ha, ha. Ah, I see you've completed your tour. Almost. We spoke with those in charge of the various facets of Agnorisses, but I thought it would be fitting to end this visit where it began, with you, Overseer Sockles. I see, and what is your impression of the work we do here? It requires equal levels of passion and patience. I am glad we could help further your worldly education. And I am glad to see you enjoyed the experience. At least I hope you did. You are truly a masterpiece of creation. Only a soul-bearing familiar could demonstrate such robust cognitive and cogitative faculties. Were you perhaps designed to inspire others? I feel that something special has been woven into your aura. You have an intriguing presence, to say the least. Please stay a while and share more of your thoughts with us. Yes, I second this invitation. In all the long years I have resided here, never have I encountered such a unique entity, and one of his M's, no less. Yami, how is our fascinating familiar friend? What is it about you that ignites my Zerber's soul? Well, now that we've been properly introduced, perhaps you could tell us some more. Yes, I would very much like to know how you see the world, how everything large or small appears to your eyes. Assuming you are amenable to the idea, you must join Charmian on another tour, this time to take a wider look at the surrounding facilities. I am interested in learning about you as well. I see, then we shall delight in teaching each other. But where to begin? Which faculty do you suggest, Overseer? Any place you feel will best elicit a response from our guest. Right, yes, of course. Well then, Yami, come with me and we'll visit the arcane entities on the south side of Agnorissos. Bird! We have yet to register an official name for this specimen, so we simply call it the Bird of Elpis. What is your first thought about beholding this majestic creature? That I want to ride it into the sky. Fascinating. Imagine a familiar which supplements its deficiencies by taking them out with the desired capability, in this case, flight. In any case, I am eager to hear more of your responses. You truly are unlike any construct I have ever met, familiar or otherwise. Let's continue southward, shall we? I would like to hear your opinion on this next faculty. Bird! Oh. Slowly we turn. Yee! Didn't mean to. Not today. Okay. That structure over yonder houses some of our more unorthodox researchers. Rather than weave creation magics, they breed existing specimens in the hopes of getting new strains and species. The method is imprecise, the outcome uncertain. To my eyes, such research seems awfully self-indulgent, merely a means to sate the whims of one's intellectual curiosity. Our purpose in life is to improve Atheris. In my opinion, we should steer clear of techniques which produce flawed results. What if the process created something unexpectedly incredible, beyond what you could imagine? A serendipitous discovery. I suppose it is possible. Thank you. I had thought to broaden your horizons. Here I am realizing how narrow my own views can be. Hardly a desirable quality in an observer. Time for a spot of rest and reflection, I say. Shall we move on to the morning dew? It's favored by many an observer for its calming tranquility. All the way over there. I got it on auto run. Welcome to our Garden of Respite. We can explore more of it later, but first, I want to hear more of what you think of people, of us. I often sat here musing about the nature of our creations, and wondered how a familiar might perceive its creator. We are not so different. Ha! Perhaps that's true. You do seem far closer to us in nature than most other familiars. Well, let us set aside such musings for a moment and bask in the morning dew's serenity. Yoink. Are you well rested, Yami? One cannot perform at one's best without allowing the mind and the body time to recuperate. Here on Agnorisis, we often encourage one another to nap, or partake of some of the fruits we grow. We could conjure such treats into existence, of course, but there is something oddly gratifying about plucking ripened fruit fresh from the tree. Oh, how remiss of me. How exactly do you sustain yourself? Is the Zem supplying you with ether? No, but you'll fade away without the proper nourishment. The tour can wait. We must feed you immediately. Would you mind picking some of the white blooms to the west of here and bringing them to Overseer Socles? Castratus flowers, we call them. I'll have everything else ready by the time you arrive. I said Azim again. It's Azem. Damn. It's like saying Atem, but Atem, but it's not not the same spelling. Would you call Yabi Yugi a team if it was pronounced that way? No, it sounds wrong. Flowers, flowers, pick all the flowers. Charming explained to me the crisis at hand. Have you brought the flowers? Yes, yes, these are the ones we need. I'll add them to the fruits from Charming's basket, and we'll still have an ether-replenishing beverage for you to enjoy. Just the work of but a moment. Oh, that sound is so satisfying. And here we are. Freshly squeezed Agna Nagrisis juice medley. Go on, then drink up. I am curious to hear what you think of it. You drink the juice, noting the complexities of the flora and fruity flavors. Oh, good. It seems you're able to tolerate liquid sustenance. You didn't appear to be suffering from any loss of material form, but a familiar must have a regular infusion of ethereal energy. And now that we know you won't suddenly vanish, will you please reassure Charmian? She still looks terribly concerned. I am so glad you were able to replenish your stores of ether. Overseer Sophocles certainly is a wonder when it comes to food preparation. Still, I firmly believe that the consumption of food should be limited to restoring one's strength. Any reason beyond that is simply wasteful. Eating for enjoyment alone is an unnecessary drain on living resources, and such a practice can only be harmful to our star's equilibrium, which is why I have so much respect for Overseer Sophocles and his culinary talent. He employs ingredients and methods which not only optimize a dish's ethereal concentration, but also produce flavorful results. Save your compliments, Charmian. I won't be flattered into making another batch until it's time for our next meal. Well, of course not. I would never dream of attempting such base manipulation to begin with. Yami, I feel we've grown to understand each other, but there's one last thing I wish to know. You see, our purpose is to improve life on this star, and we each have our own way of approaching that purpose. Familiars, too, exist for a reason, often a very specific one, and I wonder what you feel about your place in the grand scheme of things. Charming. Perhaps you could provide our friend with an example of what you mean. Such a nebulous question requires a more recognizable foundation from which to answer. Yes, you're right. Of course, we must not skip the journey in our haste to reach the destination. Where to begin? Broadly speaking, we study the wisdom and magics of our forebears, and choose our path as our interests and talents begin to crystallize. Even among the observers of Agnorissus, however, Overseer Sophocles and I share a similar calling. Again, it may be more beneficial to simply show you what I mean. Please accompany me to the archives in the northwest. This is where we keep all of the administrative records. Any of these documents will help give you an idea of what we consider to be our defining person. Feel free to browse. I shall just be awaiting you outside. These books appear to contain detailed observation logs. The name Sophocles is written on each of the spines. You pick up the log and flip to a random page. There was an incident involving the hippocampus. The creature is extremely territorial, and 4 observers sustained light to severe injuries from water-based magics as a result of their perceived intrusion into its domain. The report has been sent to the Words of La Habrea, outlining the dangers inherent in continued observation of their nominated subject, and the attempt to shift our focus to the smaller and considerably less aggressive hippie. A stack of half-finished observation logs. Judging by the penmanship, the author is someone other than Sophocles. Ah, Yami, did the observation logs enlighten? Overseer Sophocles has built up quite a library, hasn't he? He's logged comprehensive observations on every living being in Agnagnorisis, not only objective physical descriptions, but also his personal thoughts and impressions. And that's why I'm here, to carry on the Overseer's invaluable work. When it comes to the continued success of Agnagnorisis, our purposes are very much aligned. I cannot help but worry, however, that I lack the same degree of perception and ability, that I am unfit for the task I have chosen. Even being in the same room as those logs is enough to make me feel uncomfortable. My insistence that to examine your purpose was, I think, born from the trepidation which surrounds my own. And a certainty you need not feel. Overseer Sophocles, as one of our newest arrivals, you have ever been quick to doubt yourself. Yet you were able to guide Yami here on an engaging tour through the intricacies of our duties, which clearly demonstrates the depths of your understanding. If all I wanted was someone to emulate my work, why I would simply continue doing it myself. No, the reason I asked you to assume my role is because I believe you could take our projects in new and novel directions. Raising you as a competent successor is the final step of my purpose in life. Do me proud, Charmian. It is your growth, your efforts, which will facilitate my return to the star. I will do my best, Overseer, but don't be in too much of a rush to leave us. There are still so many things I need you to teach me. And speaking of teaching, thank you, Yami, for this wonderful and enriching visit. It's been a pleasure learning about you, not to mention a few things about myself. Yes, you also have my gratitude for the part you've played in training my young colleague. You are welcome to return whenever you wish. And that's it for the side quests. Now we can focus on the main quest. The daddy of all quests. I'm sorry. That's horrible. That was horrible for me to say. Forget I said it! The laceration and burns are unmistakable. A Lycion was indeed responsible. But the creature is nowhere to be seen. Doros must have taken it away. The man makes his base at 12 Wonders. I shall go and seek him out there. And Miss Selk and I will search the area for good measure. Just make sure the Lycion did not escape. My thanks. Let us meet at 12 Wonders when you have finished. I will go on ahead. Please follow with Yami. Come, it's down this path and over the bridge. there it is. 12 Wonders. Hermes is looking for Doros. Let's look for Doros, too. He's a man with long blonde hair. I think I'll know him when I see him. Blonde-haired woman, dark-haired man. Man, Etherite! Click it. Okay. Ooh, look, a blonde-haired man! Doros, that's Doros! Well now, if it isn't Meteon, what brings you here? Ah, I thought I heard familiar voices. I didn't realize you two had decided to help me search for Doros. Thank you. You're in charge of the Lycaons, I believe. Where are they now? Out in the fields of restraints. Frenzies as they were, I couldn't well return them to Kitsis. Once I've submitted my report, I see them reverted without delay. It's as he says, the beasts are indeed quite ferocious. You're one of the 14! What brings you here? Nothing you need concern yourself with. As you were. We've heard the news that a Lycaon slaughtered Occupides. As the observer in charge, you are of the opinion that they are not fit to be released? Aye, I am. Their abnormal aggression, exceptional strength makes for a highly problematic combination. It matters not where they are released. Lycaons would threaten other species and upset the natural order. Could it be that the specimens observed are an outlier? Highly unlikely. We've created a good many of them. All exhibited the same tendencies. Even when we used Kairos to begin with a fresh slate, their behavior was unchanged. Kairos? A memory reconfiguration system. The Chief himself created it. It allows us to erase or alter memories, and we may observe creations in different environmental conditions without needing to remake them from scratch. Quite impressive, and potentially dangerous. Depending on the intensity of the etheric emissions, Pashtarot may wish to have words with you. Rest assured, I've kept all values within prescribed limits, and to prevent misuse, its applications are limited to those authorized by the Chief Overseer. Do not misunderstand. To manipulate the subject's memories is an intrusive act I deeply abhor, but is still preferable to execution. Come now, Chief, let's not be so melodramatic. What was born of ether is simply being reduced to its original state. I know the distinctions concern you, but we must lose sight of the bigger picture, making rational choices for the sake of a more prosperous star. If a creation cannot be properly studied even with the aid of Kairos, we remake it. If a creation is then deemed a detrimental existence, we unmake it. 'Tis all for the greater good, and none question the necessity of such routine processes. I understand these things, I do. I would never think to unleash a clear and undeniable threat onto the world. Yet insignificant though their individual lives may be next to all creation, it is all the Lycaons we have. Before we seal their fates, we owe it to those beings to exhaust all options, to ensure that nothing has been overlooked. If you insist, let me provide you with a full report, and we may take it from there. Would it be possible for us to attend the discussion? Then Miss Selk may better carry out its duties. By all means. Pray show them to the meeting room. To man, other beings are just things, to be used and controlled, like magic. That's what Hermes told me once. Shoes! Not bad, not bad. I don't hate it. I fear this discussion may take a while, during which time... Meteon, are you feeling unwell? It's not me, Hermes, it's you. I won't go to the meeting. I'll stay with Yami. Loath I am to impose. May I leave Michion in your care again? I'm in your debt, if you'll excuse me. Can you help me with something, Yami? The meeting will make Hermes sad. I want to cheer him up with a flower. Hermes likes flowers the most of all the creations in Elpis. Most creations are expected to be interesting, or beautiful, or strong, better in some way. The flowers are different. They're designed to suit our emotions, what we feel and want to convey. Hermes likes that. I can't make flowers, so I'll search for one, and I want you to search with me. Let's start here at the 12 Wonders. I hear it. I hear it, but I don't. Oh, here we are. Tree in bloom. Vibrant purple flowers bigger than your hands adorn the tree. Ooh, so bright and big and bright. I love them. But they might be too bright. You have to think of the recipient. That's what Hermes said. A tall slender tree rises before you. You crane your neck to look for flowers. No flowers. If there were apples, we could have covered them in syrup. Let's head outside next. Don't worry, we won't wander far. An array of beautiful flowers grow in the bed. They're mixed of colors forming a pattern. These would be better for Hermes, but they're hedged in. That means we shouldn't touch them. They're either under observation or poisonous. Any other place should be fine, though. Let's keep looking. Oh, that's a monster. Familiar plant. Set on a tall, thin stalk, the oddly shaped flower is mesmerizing in its undulations. Oh, a conion, a flower that can move. When Hermes wasn't looking, it shot seeds at him. Not a good gift, maybe. But you're good, Yami, at spotting flowers. We'll find something soon. Ooh, hello. You spied nothing promising nearby, at best common-looking grasses with some few tiny flowers. Nothing around here. Ah! Over there, Yami, something big, huge! Is it pointing at the marble? It's pointing at the marble, isn't it? Malodorous, yes it is. A terrible stench reminiscent of sodden old boots pervades the air, but I doubt the culprit is the marble-like creature before you. It's an Adonis. The things around its mouth look like petals, but the flowers are the orbs on his head. When Hermes inspected it, it swallowed him up. He didn't leave his room for days. What do you think, Yami? Would he like it? Probably not the good sort of memory. No. So not this one either. Finding a good flower is harder than I thought. I'm sorry, Yami, but could we search a little more? Maybe as far as the fields over there. I'll pick something after that, I promise. Crap. No! 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 Bad bird. Bad bird. Lush green fields stretch out before you, ending where the sky begins. Aw, there's nothing. The shiny thing over there. What could it be? Oh, it's the flowers it's the Elpis flowers. Ooh, Elpis flowers. They're here too. Hermes likes and dislikes them at the same time. Like me, they're intellecties. Like me, they feel his pain and turn dark. That's only for Hermes, though. For others, they're always white and bright. Truly, the flower was dark in your home? Then do you have it too? A dark emotion? I've known the pain of sorrow and loss. I see. Hermes has known the same, the feeling that a part of you is gone, again and again, but no one notices. Please, Yami, won't you lend it to me? Your pain and sorrow? I want you to make the flower dark, in front of Hermes. He has been in a dark place since before he created me. He needs to know that he isn't there alone. The others are sad, they're sad too. Truly, you'll do it. Thank you, Yami. Thank you. It means more to me than I can say. I can't wait to see how Hermes reacts. Let's go back and fetch him. It seems they're still talking. Let's wait until they've finished.
Hermes!
Oh, you were waiting for me.
You've finished talking?
Yes, we've come to a decision. My thanks for keeping Meteon company. Emmett Selk and Hythlodaeus have already retired to their rooms. There is room for you too, if you would follow me.
Wait! I want to show you something first.
Elpis flowers?
Go on. You're not the only one, Hermes. Others feel sad too. You're not alone.
I see Meteon has shared much with you. May we talk a moment?
Hedgehog! It's a hedgehoglet! Hello, little friend. Goodbye.
I do not think it wrong that we live for the star, that we strive to make it a better place. And yet, in carrying out my duties here, there are times when I am plagued by doubt. Do you recall what Hythlodaeus said when we first spoke of my nomination? Death is the privilege of those who have fulfilled their purpose, a choice they embrace of their own free will, and when they depart, it is always beautiful. Perhaps it is, but only for man. Creations that he deems useless are discarded with nary a second thought.
It's a family of
Born
hedgehogs!
into the world, afforded a handful of breaths before life and potential are abruptly extinguished. We make an effort to spare
Is that
them the pain.
Oh, it's a Siamese cat.
Sense what awaits. Rage and anguish and cower and fear. And it is not beautiful. Yet no one cares. No one. So fixated are we upon the duty that we do not pause to question the method. Pain and suffering, confusion and despair, writ plain in the eyes of those poor creatures. Yet no one sees. We turn a blind eye and carry on in blissful ignorance. Nor to miss. And always, always the blossoms shine pure and white. A contradiction so blatant I could scream, want to scream. How can you all accept this aberration? And I wonder, am I the aberration for thinking thus? And I am filled with dread. But now I know I'm not alone. Not the only one for whom the flowers weep. Owen asked what you thought as you kneeled beside the Elpis. Or if you only did it at Meteon's insistence. Nevertheless, I thank you. To know that you too have experienced suffering is a comfort.
Glad I could be of service.
To so willingly lend an ear to ease my burden, you are a strange one. The stars in the heavens. Know you what they are? Though it is too far to tell, each glittering light could be a world not unlike Aetheris. A world filled with life. So many stars, so many lives. For us, there may be no higher purpose than to live for our world. But what of the other living beings out there? What is it that gives their lives meaning? That drives them day after day after day? To pose that question to our undiscovered cousins, I created beings of Dynamis, who can traverse the vast emptiness between the stars. Meteon and her sisters. Aye, sisters. She has a great many of them. And they have already departed on their journey, traveling to one star and then the next in search of life. As one might expect, exploration on such a grand scale is rife with difficulties, and thus far I've naught to show for it. But I have faith that we will make some manner of discovery ere long. And when we do, I should be glad to share our findings with you, in gratitude for your kindness. It's getting rather late. We had best find our beds. It would not do for both of us to be sleep-deprived on the morrow. Come, Meteon. Let us head back.
All right.
Ooh, there's the handpiece. An all too brief interlude, perhaps, but it is time I attend to my next task. As Emmett Selk and Hythlodaeus are aware, we reached a verdict regarding the fate of Lycaons. 7 were created for observation, and all 7 must be unmade. Doros has followed the correct protocols, and as Chief Overseer I can find no fault in his judgment. The Lycaons will disrupt the natural order, ravaging and consuming other species until they themselves starve and perish. They cannot be released into the wild, and they cannot be allowed to remain here in Elpis. I intend to petition the Bureau of the Architect to have the concept preserved as a restricted purpose hazardous life form. Hythlodaeus has pledged to support me in this endeavor. Yet whatever the Bureau decides, the existing Lycaons have served their purpose. Doros has already isolated the creatures and is preparing to carry out the necessary measures. I will join him forthwith. It is my duty to witness the conclusion to this study. If you are resolved, then we have but to accompany you. Of course, let us be off then. We return to the main site. Main aisle. Ooh, side quests, side quests, side quests, side quests. Side quests! Mine. What a familiar essence you have, like that of familiar, if you're familiar with the concept. Oh, just my little joke. Yami, was it? I am Hippothe. It's a Gaily cat! Yes, we're getting to that. Yami, say hello to our familiar friend here. She's an Aloris. The Alori are one of our newest creations, highly attuned to abnormalities in their environment. At the first sign of danger, they'll sound the alarm, by which I mean mew loudly. Though we do our best to observe all of our creations, Elpis is simply too large to maintain a constant vigil over each and every temperamental species. A more efficient means of detecting conflict between creatures was in order. Thus have I taken this Aloris under my wing to further develop her capabilities in this area, and she does enjoy our little walks. This morning we are testing our ability to pinpoint sites of conflict. Would you like to observe? Simply tell her that a task has begun, and she'll do her utmost to locate disruptive creatures. Please do subdue any unruly subjects once you found them. We can't have beasts running amok. Follow the allure, so try not to fall behind. It is Batcat. Crap. I can't deal with you at the moment, no! The lure selects you to 2 nearby creatures that are facing one another down, and looks at you expectantly. Ah! No! No, no 10 points for Gryffindor! I'm sorry, that was terrible. She seems quite content, but in the name of science, what were the results? As I expected. Well done, little one. Magnificent creatures to both of you. It's a shame we cannot give you a pair of tiny wings and a bell too, but it's against protocol, I'm afraid. The Elori are enchanted with theirs at birth, so they are able to acclimate properly. I am certain you have your own unique potential to rise to, however. In fact, why not join us for another phase of testing? I'm so pleased that you're willing to join us in further research. Thus far, you have noted this Eloris' response to stimuli. However, the Elori have one more very special capability. Aren't you curious? You will be pleased to know that I have dispatched one additional Eloris to fly about the 12 Wonders. Wonders, then. If she is working as designed, the phenomenon should be clearly observable. I expect that you will be able to collect evidence of it from my fellow researchers, say, Eloris, Deucalion, and Chloris. Do present your conclusions to me when you've finished. Bum ba 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 ba. Oh, can't go in there. Crows take that little sod. Where is it gone now? Oh, I was unaware we had a visitor. Pardon my language. Pardon my language. I should hate to give a poor impression of Elpis with my unprofessional behavior. Alas, I am quite at my wit's end with this new cultivar. You are fortunate not to have overheard worse. Its restorative properties are superlative. That much is true. Yet what possessed its creator to give us such nimble little legs, I shall never understand. I really must impress upon those fools at the words of Halmarut that not everything need be ambulatory. I have tried leashing it, fencing it in, staring at it with all my might, each to no avail. Its resourcefulness is far beyond what one could, and I dare say should, wish of a vegetable. A vegetable with legs? Given that it shows such signs of sentience, however, perhaps it is possible for another intelligent creation to commune with it. Are you willing to make the attempt? When it embarked upon its most recent bid for freedom, I sent my assistant after it. His own legs have grown quite powerful by this point, so with any luck, you will find them not too far to the west. A vegetable with legs. Oh boy, that means it's a frickin' mandragora. A tiny winged creature. Do you refer to Hippolyte's familiar, perchance? I did see it not long ago. I know not where it's gone off to, I regret to say. I would assist in your search, but I must put brush to parchment before I forget what I mean to write. Outside of my observational duties, I have been laboring over a treasure on aquatic flora, you see. Yet, rereading my work a moment ago, I was suddenly struck with how trite my conclusion sounds. I believe I know precisely how to strengthen it, however. I dare say even Halmarut shall be impressed by my insight. Oh, you're a Zem's familiar, are you not? I pose to you a question. Imagine an object you truly desire lies before you. What do you do? Shout need! Take it! I see. As rumored, you do show a glimmer of intelligence. Avarice is a mark of sentience, you know. Speaking of which, my pot of nectar has recently gone missing, along with the nymphi I was observing. Welcome as this confirmation of their intelligence is, they aren't meant to eat all of that at once. Of course, should I pursue them, they will like as not hide for fear of reprisal while they devour the lot. However, they may respond if a fellow familiar expresses his doubt that so much nectar truly belongs to them, if you take my meaning. Fortified enclosures. That would be dreadfully dull for all involved. Oh, if only there was someone who... Aha! You have impeccable timing, my friend. I am in need of a bit of assistance, you see. Do you even have any money? Why, of course I do. Are not all creative minds well compensated for their work? Now listen. We have been asked to design a new island for the purposes of containing and monitoring poisonous specimens. Alas, we know little of such concepts, and last I attempted a bit of research, I woke up 3 days later with far too much information about gripes. You, however, have the look of a familiar that could not possibly care less about this subject. Thus do I require your services. You need only ask the researchers at Agnorissus for a brief introduction to poisonous creatures, and steadfastly ignore any niggling curiosity in favor of reporting back here. I would advise you to keep your head down. I saw some manner of creature darting about in the air just now. If it carries on like that, it's only a matter of time before it collides with someone's skull. It startled me so bad that I accidentally created a winged fish, of all things, which itself escaped to the skies ere I knew it. Though now that I have a moment to reflect on its speedy departure, perhaps the ability to fly is not so wasted upon aquatic creatures as I believe. Surely such a boon would give them heretofore unknown capacity to evade predation. The recent fashion for flying concepts may have something to it after all. I really must pay a visit to the Bureau of the Architect next time in Amaron. I doubt anyone has registered a winged fish yet. Isn't this the most darling familiar I've ever seen? Rolled as soft and fluffy fur, his pudgy belly, his charming little bell, his eyes that gaze imploringly into the very depths of your soul. It makes you want to dismantle it and gobble its adorable ether right up, does it not? I dare not, of course. Whoever it belongs to would be quite cross indeed. Yet even to gaze upon it stokes within me a creative passion, the likes of which I've never known. Mew. Alas, my muse! Perhaps I need to create my own familiar of surpassing cuteness after all. Oh, poor kitty. It's the Mandragora! Grillo sent you to commune with the Mandragora? Best of luck. What? What? Did that help? So even its fellow creations cannot understand it. What a pity. Granted, I didn't suspect his vocal organ was unique. Aha, if you took the same form, that may be less of an obstacle. Though I'm admittedly unversed in the original design specifications, I should have little difficulty transforming you into its mirror. Shall we have a go? Wonderful. Now stand still. I'm a Mandragora! If anything, you will stand even less than you did before. How was that? Ah, one moment, please. Pardon me, I had not the slightest idea what you were saying. Would you mind repeating that? Boiled again! Nevertheless, we have gained valuable data. And it's gone. Alas, please inform Grillos that it may be some time before I return. Did you locate the Mandragora? Seemingly incapable of comprehensible communication it is, perhaps its degree of intelligence bears further scrutiny. Of course, if upon further observation it is deemed as sentient, it will be subject to even greater scrutiny to ensure that it can be safely set loose. To understand each creation in all its aspects and conclusively prove it beneficial or detrimental to the star, such is our duty and burden as researchers. At least we could say with certainty that its legs work. I see you have spoken to everyone. What are your findings? Exactly right. The Elori Beat bless those they meet with inspiration. After all, we are at our best and our brightest when our hearts are at ease. With clarity of thought and faith in ourselves, we can do anything. And what could possibly quell inner turmoil so well as a lovable creature like this? Ah, it seems duty calls. She senses another irregularity. Off you go then, dear girl. For today's results, the Elori's concept will be approved in no time. I'm truly fortunate to have such wonderful familiars to work with, yourself included, of course. Ring! Ring! Perfect. Now, all that's missing is the hands and the headpiece. A Zim, you say? In that case, I suppose some degree of independence is to be expected. I take it you're the resilient sort as well. You name it, I've been punched by it. That's wonderful to hear. The Akantha population around the Wonders is in need of culling, you see. The appropriate number of specimens has been moved to the Hungering Gardens, a far more suitable habitat, but the remainder need to be cut down ere they harm the local environment. You could track one by tossing this nectar water to the wind. The beacon to the northeast should be a suitably breezy location if memory serves. Where did you come from? Get back quickly! How odd. Generally speaking, this grips would sooner gore you than look at you. Is your creator imbued you with a special talent for soothing savage beasts, perchance? Curious indeed. I dare say this calls for further experimentation. I don't suppose you would be willing to attempt a flight on its back. I hope that the grips will find use as a mount, you see. But its aggression toward unfamiliar faces has precluded any real trials thus far. Please consider it. Aw, aren't you just adorable? Yes, you are. Hello. That's what I love about familiars. So whimsical. I had to do it. I have a task that is perfectly suited to one such as yourself. I would like you to inspect the flower beds north of here. I suspect they will have accumulated some ethereal masses. Should you find any, please bring them to me. Do look carefully now. If I needed someone to wander off with the task half finished, I would have asked one of the other researchers. Now, before we do that, I need to take a step to the bathroom. Sorry about that. Whew, definitely needed that bathroom break. You're willing to ride the grips. Splendid. We could begin immediately, assuming you have your preferred riding trousers on. Are you and your trousers ready to ride the grips? Whee! The both of you have wonderfully relaxed riding postures. What say you to a little tour of Elpis? Ooh, giving me more pieces of the map. I will take that. Ooh. Note of Foreign's beauty is ever striking. Note the blossoms will change according to the seasons and ethereal balance. A true masterwork. The grips seem quite content, a result of the flower sweet perfume and your masterful handling, no doubt. These beacons are crucial to our operations here in Elpis and make up convenient lodestars for flying specimens under observation. Successful concepts cite them. I was reading that. Sight them from a distance and can approach without hesitation. The grips has passed that test with flying colors, so let us return to solid ground. Delicate landing. Another mark in favor of the grips' utility as a mount. I believe I have the data I needed. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm sure you are curious as to what today's trial means for our friend here. If you like, we can speak further back at the Wonders. It put me right next to the level 90 monster. Nope. I'm going this way. Ethereal mass. Though you examine the flower bed closely, there are no ethereal masses to be found. Ethereal mass. That's 2 quests. It's a griffin. I want the blue griffin. Welcome back. You will be pleased to know that based on these results, I am confident the grips can be trained to become the perfect mount. It scorns unfamiliar or clumsy hands, yes, but so long as it trusts its rider, it serves him incomparably. Given Hermes' own expertise, flying creatures are always subject to immense scrutiny before approval. Even so, I have no doubt that our proud friend will pass muster. Did you scrutinize every corner of the beds? There was only 2 masses. As I suspected, masses of earth and aspect. The gardens of the 12 wonders reflect the balance of dynamic and stagnant ether of all 6 aspects. An excess of activity in a single aspect leads to this type of agglomeration. 'Tis the flower's way of bearing fruit, so to speak. Beautiful as that may sound, ethereal masses indicate that we must adjust the ethereal balance in Elpis to maintain an ideal environment. It's not for you to worry your dear little head about. Of course, such magic is as simple as breathing for us. Run along now. Beaver! The nymph squeaks innocently in response to your query, but you have ample reason to doubt its sincerity. Yes I do. I always have reason to doubt these little things. Doubt! The nymph waddles away, but not before you catch a strong whiff of nectar. There's a fate down there. And nobody's doing it? Aha! I knew there'd be one down here. Doubt! The nymph squeals in a presumably disgruntled fashion and waddles away. Nope, none of that. None of that today, not today. Aha! You're in the flowers, you little bastard! Doubt! The nymph waddles away, looking rather pleased with itself. Butterflies! Nope, denied. Or is it? Ha! Nope, denied. You've returned, but where are my nymphi? You should probably forget about those. What in the world are you talking about? Come now, tell me what you saw. Spare no detail. I'm a professional. Strange brown-furred creatures that waddled! My nymphi were bright and winged and... Oh no. No, that's absurd. Tell no one of this. Some things are better off lost. The nymphi. I'm willing to bet anything they were pixies. Oh no! The beaver strikes again! Okay, let's see here. That is every rose. And the other one is all the way back over here. A sweet scent fills the air. Survey the designated location of slay any acanthi that appear. That! I am being a menace to society. I'm stepping on their flowers. Ah, the scent of nectar water and freshly cut vines. He did a fact. 'Tis much appreciated. The acanthite grow and propagate quickly, too quickly, as I have learned. Their short life cycle makes them an excellent source of fertilizer in woodland areas. I had hoped this factor would be enough to keep their population in check, but it appears that without natural predators, they proliferate so fast as to smother the local fauna. Moving them to the gardens will do for the moment, but I must find the means to make them less invasive as a species, lest they be deemed unsuited to this world. I couldn't bear to see that happen to my darlings. Oh, did I neglect to mention that I am the creator of the Akantha concept? A great many of those who research the creations of Elpis submit our own concepts from time to time. You know, it would be wasteful not to put the knowledge we gain from observations to use. Just as it would be wasteful to allow my darlings to be sent to leave. I will make this concept work, I promise you that. And back here. Take another sip of my water. Ah, delicious. The quintessential example of a poisonous specimen in the Mortal Marquis, of course. Never was there a creation so foul, so pungent, hence the name. Indeed, the concept has lately been adjusted to prevent any further accidents. But the Marquis, oh, the Marquis, it blinds the eyes and paralyzes the body, even as the mind desires nothing so much as to vomit, continuing to purge its stench. Why did they even ever make that thing? You have heard the odorous origin of mortals. You are soliciting ideas for an Isle of Poisonous concepts? In that case, you might ask after the new cultivar from the Chthonic Horns. I am told it bears poison fruit. You learned of a deadly new cultivar. Poisonous creatures? Why, there's one right here. Oh, this thing. As you can see, its skin is translucent. The body within is, shall we say, squishy. Fortunately for it, those beautiful sleeve-like appendages conceal countless minute stinging darts. Most other creatures cannot so much as touch it, let alone devour it. It would be fascinating to see how it fares against non-aquatic concepts. Ooh, perhaps it could even fly should a light enough gas be incorporated into the membrane. You have learned a disturbing fact about stinging invertebrates. And back over here. Hang on a minute. Okay, let's see here. There you are. I had begun to worry you'd become mirrored in the minutiae. 3 no's, enough to see our options, yet not so many as to lead us into the weeds. Well done. My, this marquee is fascinating, isn't it? How might one contain such a specimen that it not the phallus and environs beyond repair? I simply must know. Excuse us, we are off to see a man about a mortal. No! Oh. Doros, are you hurt? What happened here? They caught me off guard. I had them bound with ethereal shackles, but they became frenzied, even more so than usual, and broke free. I was able to stop 4. The other 3 escaped. I see them. 2 have taken to the air above the 12 Wonders. The last is up ahead, lurking in the fields. You and Yami handle that one. The pair in the sky you can leave to me. If that is how it must end, then so be it. I will render assistance to Emma Selk, unneeded though it is. Meteion, you are to stay here with Doros. But Hermes! The Lycaons must be reverted. I would spare you their pain, and mine. This is my burden, not yours, but if you are intent on helping, then please follow my lead. I appreciate your help and lament that it is necessary. There it is, our quarry, within striking distance at present, but if it feels threatened, it may well flee beyond our reach. Here's my plan. You will approach slowly, in full view, and draw the Lycaon's attention. Now, I warn you, his abilities are as fiery as his temperament. Once it spots you, it will unleash orbs of flame. But fear not. By my measure, you are more than equal to the task. Withstand the onslaught but for a few brief moments, and that will give me time to catch it unawares. Ready? Then let us begin.
Now. Forgive me. Please, forgive me. May you and your kin find peace. Wherever your souls may drift in the underworld, may you find tranquil seas. Be not forgotten, in concept endure, to reclaim form and one day live again. Serve not the star, or any purpose save your own. Live again, if that be your desire. Hate, if that be your want. We are worthy. But leave your suffering behind. Lay down your burdens, be born anew. Fly high. Fly free.
Join the convocation, Hermes. You do not belong here.
Leave to replace another. To be replaced. It changes nothing. Tell me, do you think it right that we sacrifice all these lives for the sake of the star? And when the star has reached perfection, what then? If all who are satisfied choose to die, shall we all die in satisfaction? I do not know. Were I to take up the seat of Van Daniel, it would be tantamount to approving my predecessor's death. I do not know if it is right. And to be torn by such thoughts. I do not know if I am fit to represent mankind.
Hermes! Please, don't be angry. It hurts so.
Forgive me. If you would still consider me in spite of everything, I beg some time to gather my thoughts. Meanwhile, Hythlodaeus, I fear I must trouble you to attend to the others.
'Tis no trouble at all. Take as long as you require.
And you, my friend, I pray you find that which you seek.
I expect we have some few matters to discuss. Shall we return to the 12 Wonders for a time?
Aye.
The other Lycones have been taken care of. The incident is resolved, and life and Elpis continue as normal, or end as the case may be. Rationally speaking, I understand Hermes' argument. No matter how well-deserved the rest, there is a pang of sadness when a colleague leaves us. Yet never has a departure caused me such grief as Hermes appears to feel. What must it be like to experience such torment? Where to now? If there is anywhere you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Hermes has not yet outright refused to persist with the qualification, merely postponed the decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist, then allow me to remain your humble guide. And what of you, Yami? Will you continue along with us? Wonderful. Our fellowship travels unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis and see what new encounters there are to be had. If you will follow me, we will first head back towards Anagnorissus. Fantasy names. Always a mouthful. From here we follow the path northward to Notaneus. There we will find one of the teleporters which facilitate travel between the Isles of Elpis. First-time travelers must be accompanied, which have previously been granted. We only need to use the device together once, and henceforth you will have leave to use it freely. Shall we? It's still pointing up. Here we are, Notaneus. This teleporter will take us to... I'm not trying. The Western Island. That's it right there, looming large over us. Step this way and we can soon admire the view from above.
I present to you Calamelios Zephyros.
Calamelios Zephyros. Okay.
Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos.
Poiton Oikos.
Right then. Let's begin by...
It's a Spriggan!
Well, well. An Arraius.
Arraius.
How delightful.
And what, pray tell, is that?
Ah, that's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago. Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact. And then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight, another superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst. Concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end, I couldn't deny their passion. Here we are.
KO! Wait, is that Vana? It's Vana!
That was too close. Are you unharmed? Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Vana, that we should meet you here.
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work. Vana is her name, and she is the previous Azem.
Excuse me, what?
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so.
So she was the previous version. She was the previous
and doubled in number.
person, but that became a Zem before the one that that was a Zem that is now that is me. I'm sorry, that made no sense.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is he, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are? I say, have you perchance come from the future?
Busted!
I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you. Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether.
That sounds rather like the blessing of light.
I see you are not ignorant to its presence. And while there are many protective spells, the one you bear is unmistakably mine.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting. I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest.
Damn, she's good!
Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
Fuck.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself. As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Fuck!
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation?
Fuck! I got busted! But I'm busted my cover! No!
If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Bout and Oikos.
She busted my cover! Why? Oh, fuck me.
We were meant to meet. I am certain of it. Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to, and quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
My apologies, but before we move along, a colleague has tasked me with a matter of which I'd rather not leave unresolved. It involves finding a certain concept engraved in crystal, in quick-fingered aureus, which made off with it. In aureus, you say? I think we might have seen the culprit before being distracted by that business with the shark. Would you like us to follow its ethereal trail? That would, of course, lead us only to the aureus. There's no guarantee that it hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal you seek. Jesus, hiccups. Please, even that much would be enormously helpful. While you are hunting down the thief, I can follow behind and scour the forest floor just in case. Could I ask you to join the search? I'd appreciate another pair of eyes to cover the land to the west of here. Many thanks. There's a small bridge leading into Bout and Oikos. Let us meet up there once we've exhausted our efforts. North, east, this way. Minotaur! Directly east. I should be able to see it from here. North. Ah, there it is. Hiding behind a rock. Northwest. 292 yalms to the northwest. It's not far from here. Directly north. I hear someone mining, gathering stuff. Northwest, 65 yalms. I should be able to see it. Directly north of me. It's up there. Let me up! Ugh. The Rock says no. Dwayne The Rock Johnson says no. I see it. It's up on that thing. $395 yalms to the north, directly north of here. Ah, it's up there! What the? Wait a minute. I was about to say, those colors were eerily similar. Yeah, right. Woo! No! Why would they spawn on top of me like that? What is that? Okay, it's the same thing as that, but what is this? Is this a coral? It's a coral! An antlered coral. Hang on! I'm gonna beat your face in! I mean, surely it doesn't have the ability to use lightning abilities, does it? And the answer to that is no. But Jesus, it's freaking huge! Ooh, ether current. I will take that. I just randomly came up on this one. And that leaves just 2 left. Northwest. 349 yalms to the northwest. It's up there. Alright. And then the last one is the one that I can't get access to because it's too high up. Oh, there it is. Our last searcher returns. I'm afraid the Aureus no longer had the crystal, nor was I able to find it as I followed in his wake. I don't suppose you fared any better. The crystal! Well done! Wonderful. Now I can focus on your tale without that missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? I've often been asked to do so. Oh, you too. Some of us seem destined to always be searching for ourselves and for others. Long ago, when I held the seat of Azem, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. Naturally, the need for such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet I am still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or new interest require my personal attention. That is what brings me to Elpis, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, my opinions sought concerning the habitat of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate that missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is, the one way one thing leads to another. Wouldn't you agree? Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, 'tis time I returned the stolen property. If you would go on ahead to my accommodation, I will join you as soon as I have attended to that task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building at the top of the slope. I hope I have the entire place to myself, so we can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. Welcome to my temporary abode. Please make yourself at home while I put on some tea.
A wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like. Now then, will you tell us your tale?
Why don't you start from the beginning?
Going through it all.
Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Vanar?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Hydaelyn? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain, but your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Might it not be simply thus? In the future whence he came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
True, true. I note also that Hydaelyn did not specify a point in time to which he must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle, and we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any, but we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Hydaelyn is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman.
Well,
To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this Zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory. Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable? Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again. Emmett Selk, wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
is key to all this.
Ah, yes. The energy distinct from ether. Though not my field, I have a basic understanding of Dynamis. And you say Hermes researched the phenomenon in the course of creating Meteon? Yes. I believe this warrants further investigation. With that settled, it is time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. And suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest. Have faith. If Emmett Selk is the man Azum described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
Shall we begin our investigations then? I am acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. Of the man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge. Thus, I suggest we fall back on the tried-and-true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Meteon, and have a good idea of where we might begin. Ooh, side quests! Anyway, we're going to actually stop the live stream here for today and finish up the rest of this quest later, as well as pick up the side quests. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that right fast. I know I'm going to probably skip the dialogue for these side quests because, honestly, they're not important. It's just that I need them for experience. I mean, granted, right now, I'm at the proper amount of experience points where I can go and do my daily roulette on the the daily roulette for the main scenario, and I can get me my last level right now. So even if I did do these quests, I don't really need to anymore. But granted, I do them because I know certain quests hold equipment pieces that I could use, and certain quests also hold the ether currents that I need in order to fly around in locations. That's why I continue picking them up. I am a little upset, though, that I have yet to complete the ether currents in Labyrinthos, which, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find them all. I mean, I'm pretty certain the reason why I wasn't able to find them all was mainly because of the fact that we aren't able to fully access Labyrinthos just yet. Alright, and that's the last quest here. So tomorrow, I will be tackling all these quests, as well as continuing on with the main scenario. So, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the live stream, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out Mother Roy's DNR page or click a link in the description below. If you achieve a dream being my Gaka, but limit for 2, you won't be disappointed. And of course, don't forget to click that little bell button if you to be notified whenever I upload a video or a live stream to my channel. And most importantly, if you wish to see a Let's Play done, you can do so by checking out my playlist section. All my videos are archived for your viewing entertainment, so you can watch Let's Plays like God of War, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, and many, many more. Thank you all for watching. As always, hosting my Shadows and Long Z, and I'll see you for the next adventure. Goodbye, everyone!